Here they go into the back. The blue line on. We have a race, and Satnova's beaten Pure Steel out by a length and a half.
Welcome to Talking Trots, hosted by Mortz and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
The sensational Sydney sider, Seals to Sam, comes off the back straight. He's a bucket load of alliteration, this fellow.
Scott Bomber Hill will join the boys to look at the Friday night meeting at Gloucester Park.
Here comes Quinny. I'm the mighty Queen is 4 deep and letting go.
Sit back and enjoy Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
I'm the mighty Queen is just in front. Dasher VC can do no more. And the West Australian champion.
Yes, hello and welcome to Talking Trots for another big week. Hopefully we find a few winners and a very special guest this week. We're going to catch up with Michael Brennan, who's now in Queensland, and talk about his setup over there, including a number of runners that previously raced in WA, plus a whole heap of new runners that he's got over there, and chat about his new setup. Mortz is away again this week, and as usual, straight off the bench, Oli Cownie. Oli, welcome to the program.
Great to be on, Rads. It's another really good week of racing. Plenty to talk about. Really looking forward to chatting with Michael Brennan, who had so much success in WA and is now set up base in Queensland.
Yeah, we're going to have Bomber on. Bomber was here this week with last Friday night with his dad and his two boys, Jay and Blake, enjoying Gloucester Park, and we got to deep dive into a few races, and we'll chat to him. But you must be excited. Oh. We're talking about Queensland racing.
I know, this is my passion, my love. My first love in harness racing is Queensland racing. I love getting up there, watching the races, all three tracks, Marburg as well. So
even Marburg.
Yeah, even Marburg. It's actually one of my favourite tracks.
I don't know whether Mouse has actually had a starter in Marburg. We'll have to...
you can get right up on the fence there. It feels like you're really close to the action. So I did enjoy it, and when I went there, I backed a few winners. So that always helps.
Outstanding work. All right, let's get into it. We're about to get Mouse Brennan on the line, and he started his Queensland campaign really well. He actually had a winner today with the champion driver Nathan Dawson in the camp, and if you're lucky enough, it ended the early quaddie for you. Post Painter defeated a really good field at Redcliffe today and looks to have bigger things in store. Let's listen to Post Painter winning for Michael Mouse Brennan.
Then Planet Downs, they're into the home straight. Post Painter is out in front. The margin still over 5 metres. Little Surfer Girl goes to the inside. Then I Got Chills, but Post Painter first up victory. Post Painter too good. Beating Little Surfer Girl, I Got Chills.
What about Chris Barsby? He loves saying Post Painter.
Fantastic, really, isn't it? And he gets up and about, even though it's a Thursday. It's just another race. Maybe not for Chris Barsby. He's always enthusiastic. He's a fantastic race caller.
He sure is, and he called Post Painter home. His trainer's on the line, Michael Brennan. Mouse, welcome to the program. How is Queensland at the moment?
Starting to get a little bit fresh, Rads, and hello, Ollie. But yeah. Beautiful one day, perfect the next race, eh?
They do say that, and good win. Post Painter looks to have a bit of a future. The 4-year-old mare just in from New Zealand.
Yeah, she's a lovely mare. One of the boys that works for me, Lukey Sutherland. We had a big day today. I think Luke's about 35, and he's just taken out his trial licence, and he got a winner with he owns Post Painter with Josh, and drove with it, me old mate without the to a trial win. So he's had a good day.
Mate, how has it been, Queensland? You've relocated. How long you've been over there now? It must be 5-6 months.
Yeah, I'd be close to that, mate. I think something like that. Yeah, settling really good. Like, it's hard not to settle into a great establishment like we've walked into. But yeah, it's still trying to get my head around the training style. Obviously, I've spent most of my time training in the sand, so still trying to get my head around that. But look, the horses have been very consistent. I think we've only had about 3 or 4 that we've started that finished outside the top 5. So over the next few months, we'll keep tinkering with a few things, and we're certainly on the upward trajectory. That's for sure.
So you've taken over Daryl Graham's property, and which by all reports, it's a fantastic property that he set up, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, it is. It's lovely, mate. The backdrop itself is beautiful. We've got a lovely range along the back, and then just the setup itself is brilliant. We've got a beautiful big barn and lots of green grass, luxurious paddocks, and the water walker goes in. I think it starts on about the 10th of July. So once that goes in, we'll have the water walker, we'll have a swim. We've got the hot walker. Excuse me, and I think there's a spa going in as well. So we've got all the gadgets.
You better train some winners, mate.
Yeah, pressure's on, isn't it? Jesus.
A horse trainer's paradise there. You've had a couple of 2-year-olds go around recently, and one of them I thought was actually really good in the heat of the Q-Bred Breeders' Classic, just incredible, and then maybe just bumped into a really, really special horse in Fight for Victory in the final.
Yeah, he came up from Melbourne. Kyle Marshall and a group of his clients owned him, so he came up just purely because he's Q-bred. He'll front up again next Friday night in the heat of the APG. But he's a lovely little horse. I'm still trying to get the just the fitness into him. But he was very good first up. Second up, yeah, as you say, like them couple of grants and then one of Chantal's was just, yeah, I think went 53.5 or something like that. Just like my poor little bugger just couldn't go it. So, but he's a lovely little horse, and he'll definitely win his races. And
they were pretty tough conditions there on Saturday night as well. And yeah, that heat was a strong heat. Timmy Taylor was too good, but obviously. The second horse there, Fight for Victory, had made a break early, so it was a pretty incredible effort for him to get as close as he did. Another 2-year-old you had going around at Menangle on Tuesday, Impermissible. She looks quite a nice little filly, and she hit the line really nicely.
Tell you what, it was a good drive by L.A. McCarthy.
Yeah, it is beautiful when you're watching it on TV and you're saying, go to the fence, quick, get across the fence.
From Barrier 8 or whatever it was.
Yeah. He's 3 steps ahead and he's already there. It's like, but no, she's a lovely filly. We bought her off Mark Pitt with this race in mind. She came up to us and she's a little bit hot, but yeah, and she'll improve enormously. Off that, and I think she'll be, if she draws better than the other one that beat her the other day, I think she can win it.
It's safe to say that most of the horses at the moment are horses you've sort of had previously, and you've kept a few of the owners. Some of them I think you've bought and taking over, but there's a surge coming through of horses you've bought with your main owner, Josh Devine.
Yeah, very much so, mate. Obviously, Josh has bought the property and set us all up and all that sort of stuff. And we bought those fuel cross from WA. See Fury and Hammerdown go around tomorrow in the same race. My Hammerdown's had no luck, and I think it'll be extremely hard to beat tomorrow night. Obviously a few of the others that have come across the Express Party run second last night had a severe affliction with the winning post. Was very good the week before, but this week he just decided that
he's a funny horse. You must pull your hair about it. He's always been like that, though, hasn't he? Like
he has.
Bunbury.
It's funny because like all you want to do is sit him up, but he keeps drawing that we have to lead.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, can we please just get a bad draw? Yeah. It's not very often you say that about a horse, but he just needs it because he's a very, very talented horse. But yeah, he's just got that quirky, and I don't want to say it because Senior might be listening.
Yeah.
But he's got that quirky art majorness about him.
Oh, dear, yes.
Look, let's just hope the Senior's gone to sleep or something like that by the time it comes off.
Although saying that, he's got a very good art major at the moment in Cyclone Geordie, so...
He seems to forget that, though.
Yeah, he does. He does. And Express Party owned by Les Sharp, who's a mate of yours and Junior's now living in Queensland. He actually owns a share in one of our trotting horses, Perfect Mickey, as well. And I saw him on the track the other day when Express Party won.
Yeah, no, Sharpie's a good man. He's a good man. Junior and I used to knock about with him when I was at seniors at Hazelmere. And yeah, like he's a good fella. He enjoyed the win last week and was a little bit disappointed this week. But anyway, the show goes on. He'll be right.
Now, tell us about your main owner, Josh Devine. You've been friends with him for a long time. How did this opportunity come up for you?
Well, Josh is sort of he's a rare bird of human, Josh. Like he's 32 years old. He's a ex-Navy person, and he's one of those guys that just has ideas, and they just seem to just, he's obviously a very intelligent person, and his business ideas have just exploded. We first started with Miss Angriel. I run into him at the Melton Trots, I think at Imakari or something like that in the 4-year-old Breeders' Crown, and Nelson ran fourth, and I ran into Josh, and I'd never met him before, and he came up and introduced himself, and he actually said, "Look, mate, you don't know who I am." He said, "But I had a photo of you on the wall. I had a poster of you on my wall as a kid," because Josh was he was actually a quite handy hockey player himself. And we got chatting, and he said, "Look, if anything ever comes up, just let me know." And it just so happened that, as every good horse trainer does, as Josh says, the next day I rang him and said, "Look, I've got a share of Miss Angriel if you want to buy a share." And from there on in, it's just been, like we've grown closer and closer and closer. And the best part about Josh and I is that we're best mates. He's godfather, one of my boys. I'm godfather to his daughter. We're very close mates, but we both share the same love of harness racing, and fortunately that now he's in a position to do what he wants to do, and that's enjoy harness racing, and that's his outlet away from business, and it's it's very beneficial to Kat, myself, and the boys that we're in the position where we are now.
Well, you've gone big at the sales. Who's in charge of picking the yearlings? Because you've certainly bought plenty, particularly at the nutrient sales around the country. Who's in charge of picking the yearlings, yourself or Josh, or is it a combination?
No, it's a team thing. Josh has his own opinions on what he wants, and I have my opinion, and we sit down together. And we go through it all, and then Kat has a look at all the videos. She goes through the biomechanics of it and all that sort of stuff. Watches them trot, watches them walk. She goes through all that sort of stuff. I go through what I think is a nice horse. Josh goes through the pedigrees. He's a mad pedigree man. And we sort of just all moulded in together, and we're very happy with what we got this year. A couple of them. I know the Better's Delight filly that he bought off Jackie Gibson. I'm punching him in the ribs saying, "Just stop." And he said, "No, I want it." And I said, "All right, just keep going then." And she's gorgeous. She's a lovely filly, But we've also bought some very nice horses around the $20,000 range that people sort of seem to forget as well. They've all broken in really well. And the next 12 months looks really, really exciting for us.
All right, the Better's like she's from the IC family, isn't she?
Yeah, she is. Yeah. She's out of I think I keep smiling might be Irani or something like that. But anything that's got the JG on their shoulder, especially in the mare side, is generally very well bred.
All right. Which one's your pick of the yearlings you bought, just for us, so we can follow?
She's got a bit of spunk about it. Adam Sanderson broke her in. And he said, like any good filly, she has a whole lot of attitude, I guess is probably the best word to say.
Okay.
But can go. We've spread them out, we've spread them out a lot over this time. Rick Hunt, who works for Ricky Alchin, he's done a fair few of them. Brett Hogan does a great job in what he's done ours for a while now. Adam Sanderson did her. Dougie Hewitt's done a few, and he's got big raps on the Art Major. Someone to Love Colt, I think we bought in Sydney. But some of them cheaper ones have come through really good too. So, mate, once they leave the sales ring, they're all worth the same.
Yeah. We all know that.
Yeah, well, you know it's like, like you guys know with trotting.
Yeah.
Sometimes the dearer ones
Yeah.
are what they are, and you have to pay because that's what they are. But sometimes the cheaper ones can jump out of the ground as well.
Yep. Now, Penny Tiger, how did he pull up after Friday night? He was following a hot speed.
Yeah, I don't generally go for the second up syndrome.
Yeah.
Purely because of the way I've been taught to train. But it was very much a second up syndrome. Look, he was still good. He got beat 10 metres by leap to fame. So in saying that, that's great. Speak the truth, sat on his back, beating by half a length. But he pulled the first 2 starts I've given him here. He's topped up really big. And I've never had him do that to me. So it's very much a learning curve for me with him. I thought he was very, very good first up behind Whisper a Secret. I'm trialling him again tomorrow. I've gone sort of a little bit outside the box a little bit with him there, in that I wanted to back him up but not have the race pressure per se. So I'm just sort of trying to work it all out. It's a little bit difficult because he's such a clean-winded horse and such a very, very good horse that you just got to it's very much a learning curve for me over the next couple of weeks, just to work out the way I need to work him, and make sure that we can get him to the point he needs to be. But I've been very happy with his work. I thought his run was good. You could clearly see that he gave out over the last 75 metres. Brendan thought he was probably a real big chance to run the second at the 400. But just condition gave out over the last 75 metres, so that one's on me.
Heading to the Inter-Dominion with him obviously sounds like it's the main plan at the moment. Do you think the 2 heats now instead of the 3 might suit him?
I think so. Especially with his gate speed, I think if we can, he's a big chance of blasting across and running second or third in 2 heats. So that sort of, and the main goal with him is just to actually make the Inter-Dominion final. It's more about that process than anything with him. Josh is very keen. Josh and myself own him, so it's the whole process is about getting him to the Inter-Dominion final, which would be just a dream come true, especially now that we're based here. And I think by the time that comes around, I'm hoping like bejesus that I have worked it out. But I think what tomorrow will give me a better guide of where I need to go with him. And I think he'll run a real good mile tomorrow night at the trials.
Fingers crossed. It's obviously still the pinnacle of the sport, the Inter-Dominion, so really looking forward to that, and hopefully he can make the final. I read an article yesterday about how you've been able to secure a promising young driver in Victoria to be your new stable driver, Connor Clark. How's that come about?
We had Corbin here, and that's where I've also been very fortunate that the staff I've got are exceptional. Luke, I'm not young Luke, he's 35, so he probably won't appreciate me calling him.
He's young to us, man.
He's a great worker, and he's now taken out his trial license and is living the dream. Corbin come across from New Zealand, and he's just got a little bit homesick, which is understandable. He's a young guy. We're not based in the city, so it's a little bit harder. He misses his mum. He's unfortunately his father passed away not long ago, so he's decided to go home. So we sort of reached out to Connor, and look, he's a great young driver. He's a likeable young kid too, which helps. And he's worked for some of the best stables in Victoria, and he drives really, really good. So looking forward to having him part of the team. As you know, like the team is the most important thing. Who you're working with at home is really, really important. So yeah, really excited about Connor coming. Sad to leave Calls go because he's just such a wonderful, wonderful human being. But we'll be cheering hard for him when he gets back to New Zealand.
And it's good to have backup drivers like Angus Garrard and Nathan Dawson. They go okay.
Yeah, 100%. And look, we won't per se have a stable driver, Carter will probably.
I saw Carter come across.
Yeah. Look, we're very fortunate in the fact that, we sort of Carter come across the drive, Finny Tiger, and maybe the other week. We obviously have Luke at our disposal because Luke's sort of obviously Luke's Luke, but Josh has a few horses with Luke now. Obviously purchased Coastal Babe and she's gone to Luke, and obviously Luke and I are very close mates. So, we have Carter, we have Luke at our disposal. Angus has been driving a few. Obviously Nathan drove a few, and then Connor will cut his teeth here, and once Connor earns his stripes, and the world's his oyster if he head down bum up type thing.
Mate, it's great to catch up with you. We're watching with great interest on your progression over there, and certainly exciting times coming up. Not only you got the Inter-Dominion coming up in the next month or two, but obviously your yearlings after that rolling into 2026 is very exciting, and no doubt we're all watching from over in WA, mate. Great to catch up. We might catch up soon as well. Good luck, and we'll speak to you soon.
Yeah, thanks very much, boys. There's probably a couple more there just to watch out for my beloved WA listeners.
You've got to throw one out.
Without you, I think she's going to be a real big player in the Queensland Oaks. I absolutely love her. She's fantastic. A horse called Premier. He'll start probably in the next 3 to 4 weeks. Lovely maiden horse from New Zealand. He goes really nice. But yeah, Drew, there's a few there. I think Hammer Down wins tomorrow night. My Hammer Down at Albion Park. So there's one for the punters. But yeah, it's an exciting time. It's great. We've settled in fantastic. It's a great environment for the kids and Cat, and just need to train a few more winners. That's all.
No doubt you will. Great to catch up with you. My Hammer Down. It's in the first race tomorrow.
And Sea Fury will probably run a place behind him as well. You think
so? You won't be far away.
I tell you what, didn't the boys get a fair bit out of that last week? $12 a place. Stop it.
And loves following that speed, doesn't it?
Did they forget to watch the replays? I think they forgot to watch the replays. $12 a place into $6 into $5. The boys got it all.
Had the absolute ideal set up for him, didn't he? Because he loves that sort of trip.
He does. He's and like I reckon he's a big chance running the place again tomorrow. He's come on good, so we might have snuck one past the keeper last week, so everyone's happy.
We love leaders back here, so
beautiful.
That's how I go. Mate, Mouse, good to talk to you. We'll speak to you very soon, and obviously good luck going to the Dominions, but good luck with everything going forward in Brisbane, and no doubt we'll catch up with you.
No worries, guys. Thanks very much for your time, and hello to everyone in the West. We miss you. Really excited about what's coming forward to us.
Good on you, Mouse. Congratulations, and we'll speak to you soon.
Thanks, Mouse.
Thank you. Bye.
There we go, Michael Brennan.
Yeah, well, he's got a really exciting team that he's assembling there, and we heard about a few of them, but I'm sure there are plenty of others which are talented and will win plenty of races too.
Yeah. Exactly. He's got a few coming up, and we've obviously got some WA connections there with Without the Tar and Hammer Down. And
yeah, Without the Tar actually ran second in a trot rods race the other day, which is a bit different. So, good.
I think Luke McCarthy drove out 8 winners that day, didn't he?
Yeah, well, he was driving well, but he did hand up on an odds-on favourite over the trot rods journey. I thought that would be, a cardinal sin just about. But anyway, sorry he had his logic for it.
Yeah, indeed. But yeah, Mouse is going well. He obviously they've bought a lot of yearlings this year. They went to obviously started at Queensland at the sales after the Ultimate Driver on the Sunday, and then they've rolled through to Sydney and Melbourne and bought up.
Which is fantastic because, we, as an industry...
And broke a couple of records.
Yeah, there were a few expensive yearlings that went through the sales there, and it's really important to support our breeders. They're such a vital part of the sport, so it's really good to see them getting a bit of well-earned success. Yeah, no,
it's good to have owners in there and supporting, and obviously setting up a big business over there in Queensland, and be interesting to see how he goes. But we thought we'd get Mouse on this week.
And he's already given us a
You
winner.
got very excited when we going to talk about Queensland racing.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, definitely. And well, hopefully he's given us a winner there tomorrow with My Hammer Down. That's a good one. It did look hard to beat to me on paper, so it just strengthens the confidence. It might go around a pretty short price now if he's declaring it. So
you'd think so. What price did they have it? They had it $3.80 on HRA. It's not gonna be bad.
I don't think so. I think the one outside of it, she's pretty fast into the Mystic, and she was a pretty good winner last start. But if she doesn't get down to the pegs, she probably can't win.
He's driving pretty good, Angus Garrett.
Yeah, he is. He's driving fantastic. He's got a lot of confidence, and
since the Ultimate Driver, he's just gone to another level, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has, and he drove fantastic on Wednesday night at Redcliffe. There were a few where he whipped around to the breeze. He put some pressure on, and he was in the money or he was too good. So he's going really well, Angus Garrard. So he's come on with leaps and bounds from that Ultimate Driver's victory.
Yes. All right. Has that done us for the first segment?
Yeah.
Oh, we better do the sponsor.
Oh, yep. Can't forget those.
Can't forget our main man, Ross Fitzgerald, who's actually not here this week. He's over in Sydney working hard for Steel Blue Boots, built for comfort, made for work. Well over 736 stockists nationwide. Mark of true skill. And you can view the entire range of premium boots at steelblue.com. And if you watch any show on Fox, you're bound to see Steel Blue, whether it's NRL 360, AFL 360, the back page, Fox Sports News, any of the coverage. You got to see Steel Blue boots, and even if you tune into Selling Houses Australia, they're all well. They're all well in them. They're all wearing them.
And so we're in good company here at our Talking Trots.
You're wearing them today. I'm wearing them today, and our man Ross Fitzgerald, I think he's only got one tomorrow night. He's got Rolling Fire. I think that's his only runner tomorrow night.
Wow, he's usually got a pretty full.
Usually got a few in. He might have a few the next week, but he's never far away from a winner.
Yeah, well, Rolling Fire, he's drawn wide and it looks a bit awkward there.
These preferential barriers.
They don't.
Is there any chance?
Yeah, a few horses they don't too.
They're helping you.
Yeah, well, I don't.
Just keep on buying mares with Michael Young.
Yeah, sadly I'm not in.
Aren't you in Hill?
But,
really?
Which is pretty silly. I think at about
your main man's in there.
Yeah, well, at about the
Matty Leppard
at the 700 metre.
Russell Crossan's in there.
Yeah. No,
Michael Young.
I've made a mistake.
How are you not in there?
Well, I thought 7-year-old mare. She's old enough, and at the 700 metre mark last week, I was what have I done?
We'll see how she goes. She's odds on tomorrow night, isn't she?
Yeah, I think she's about $1.30, which is
$1.38.
Yeah, she was incredibly.
Obviously,
impressive.
the scratching of Lion Queen's had something to do with that.
Yeah, I'm not sure Lion Queen would have been able to.
No, but she would have changed the market. She
would have been. Yeah. She would have been short enough because she was terrific in her win last week. Lion Queen, she was really good. She did all the work and was just too strong in the end.
Yeah, the Tab Touch market has Heavenly Gypsy, Joe Savelko taking the claim, $1.38. What are the odds for Ryan Bell at $10? Ryan's for driving as well. Montana DJ 15, Rolling Fire 13, Manish Manemsha, who won last week at $10, Sugar Apple, who won last week at $11, Vegas Strip at $15. So it's a pretty good race though.
Yeah, no, it is a good race. There's certainly a few horses there which are going pretty well at the moment, and a few which don't have the numerical form like Vegas Strip, but we know he's a really nice horse and he'll probably get a pretty good run there down on the pegs. So like if anything did go wrong, there's plenty of chances in the race, or for the placings anyway.
Now, even though she scratched Lion Cream, we're about to listen to her. The Harry Caporaro Westbred 4 and 5 year old championships. Better's Destroy won one of those.
Your favourite man.
A couple of years ago with Junior in the bike. But even though Lion Queen scratched, she took out the feature race last week. Let's go back last week. The Harry Caporaro Westbred 4 and 5 year old man's classic over the 2130 metres. Lion Queen proving too good at the 155.
Shot away from Relatively Armour. Nothing really coming quickly enough, although Lenora Jane is flying late, but it's Lion Queen in front of Lenora Jane, and Lion Queen a big win by 2.5 metres to Lenora Jane. Lily Lou, Relatively Armour.
There's always a lot more in store for you at Retrovision, like Retrovision's lowest price guarantee. If you find a lower price on a same-stocked item, we'll beat it. There's our 60-day price promise, where we'll refund you 120% of the difference if you find a lower advertised price on any purchase. Plus, RAC members save an extra 5% every day of the year. After 60 years, a lot has changed, but there's still a lot more in store at Retrovision.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
Run Montana DJ. Prince of Pleasure dropped right off, and then Flying Rumour. Sugar Apple in front. Armour X Factor's trying its heart out, but it's Sugar Apple. Harper keeps it going. What Are the Odds gets up on the inside, but Sugar the Apple from What Are the Odds? Sugar Apple in front, and Sugar Apple gets home by 2.
Sugar the Apple from Richie.
It's been flying at the moment, hasn't it?
How did it start $6 or whatever from the same barrier?
And it was pretty much the certain leader. It was obviously a strong race with a lot of depth, but leading around Gloucester Park, you'd think it was going to be pretty hard to beat, and it was. Nothing was able to catch it.
Yeah, and goes round tomorrow night. It's in race number 3 against, it's the race that Lion Queen comes out of, against Heavenly Gypsy. $11, $1.65 per place, looks okay.
Yeah, I think it was $1.80 earlier, which, seems like a pretty generous price.
It's got to start. Surely $1.65 a place Sugar Apple is better than $1.38 Heavenly Gypsy a win.
Yeah, you'd think so, because, if
you're shopping.
If they did open up.
Michael Young mightn't talk to me for a while, but surely if you're punting, that's the way to go.
Well, I mean, you can probably play exotics around Heavenly Gypsy winning and Sugar Apple running second or third, and probably get a decent result out of that.
You'd think so.
Because she can get a bit keen as well, I think, Heavenly Gypsy. So
there you go.
If she rolls along, you'd probably a good spot to be on the pegs.
Indeed. All right, this segment's brought to you by Retrovision, your local WA electrical appliance specialist, where RAC members receive an additional 5% every day, and you can call in to one of their big superstores. They're everywhere. There's Albany, there's Bunbury, there's Ellenbrook, there's Joondalup, or go on retrovision.com.au and get all the electrical appliances you love. All right. Now, very special guest at Gloucester Park was the Bomber Hill family. Dad, sons, Bomber, they were all here as we welcome in Bomber to the program. Scott, how are you?
Yeah, well, thanks, Rad. So thanks for your hospitality last week. It was well received by all. The boys had a good night, and the whole band enjoyed his first trip to Gloucester Park. So, thank you very much.
One of Tasmania's leading trainers?
Years ago, probably not so much now. He's scaled back a little bit, but he's getting on a little bit now. But he's still got plenty of young ones. He's breaking in and training a couple of 2 and 3 year olds, so it keeps him busy anyway.
Oh, that's good. And my favourite AFL player, soon to be AFL player, Jay was there, as long with his brother Blake as well. Who, when I was there, they were backing winners, Bomber.
Yeah, it started red hot, and Blake thought, how easy is this game? And he was in for the long haul, and backed about 4 losers in a row, and all of a sudden it wasn't quite as exciting. But Joe, they both had a good night, and they were going better than me early.
Welcome to punning.
As soon as you back those first couple of winners, though, it's over.
Yeah, seem bulletproof, don't you? Keep rolling. All right, we've got a big 10 race program tomorrow night. The first at 5:22. It's pure steel night. And the first race we're going to look at with Bomber is actually race number 1, and it is the Bridge Bar Open for Origin. State of Origin's coming. Ollie, I'm very excited about that.
You'd be really.
I didn't
really
even bring it up
that.
with Mouse because he's a Queenslander and New South Wales beat them so bad. But anyway, I know you support New South Wales, don't you, Bomber?
No, I'm actually a Queenslander.
Oh, stop it.
I support Queensland. I've never lived there. I did live in New South Wales.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, no, but because I think when I was in Tassie, I supported Queensland, so I just followed that through. But the boys are both New South Wales, so there's good rivalry in our house.
Yeah, well, let's hope that the Origin at Optus Stadium goes that way. It's done the previous 2, and we've won by about 100 each time. But anyway, the Knights play tonight. I might make this podcast go for about 3 hours, so I don't have to watch it. But anyway, the Bridge Bar is open for Origin. If you want to park for it as well, come and see us here. Let's have a look at the Tab Touch market and see what the fluctuations. Manhattan Moon, drawn the pole, opened up very short, $2.25. It's out to $3.20. Beat the Bank, $41. Velocipede, $12. Feeling Aces, $26. Mickey Pello at $26. Swagger Man, $4.40 in from $5.50. High Sugar Rush, $11. Spudmeister, $26. You Better Follow Me at $18. And then the back line, we got Pocket the Change at $6.50. Alta Freeway at $17. And what about this for a correction? Codename Marcus, $11 they put up, currently $5.50. Bomber, in the first, can we kick off with a winner?
I hope so, Rads. But, the $11 was simply a mistake, codename Marcus. He comes up with an average draw here, but I think most of the outside brigade should probably go back. So he may land a little bit closer than first looks. And he drops drastically in grade off his last couple. 2 starts ago, he went into Gee, He's a Sport when completely outclassed. And then last start, there's probably a case to be made that he would have won with clear air. He went to the line under a stranglehold. And, 3 runs back, first up from a spell, he came off a really soft sit and he put them away really quickly in that race and roared to a big victory. So the second horse there has since gone on and won and looked pretty good, and I think with any luck here he can be the one charging late for sure.
Couldn't agree more on that one, Bomber. I thought codename Marcus just looked a real standout on class. That race he took on last start was just a whole lot stronger than this one. He follows out a really fast beginner in Velocipede, so it could all work out really nicely for him. How many units are we going to have on codename Marcus?
Yeah, just the one. He's probably in too close to his right price. He might even still come in another point or so. But I think I agree, Ollie, with the right sort of luck, he'll be winning.
All right, the next race we're going to look at is race number 4. It is the Pure Steel, the feature race of the night. We got the pole marker Bet on the River, who's been really consistent at $9. Back online at 34. Cam's Bowler's the favourite in a really open market, $4.40 to $4.80 into $4. Swizzle Stick at $10. Our Lady Jen at $19. Blame It on the Night, a last start winner at $4.60. Pete's Honour at $6.50 in from $7.50. Kushla McCree for Our Man Hayden King at $7.50 out from $5. Sugar Street is at $1.26. Then we've got Soho Moonraker at $9, Soundwave at $21, and My Silver Spoon, who won last week, the stand at $7.50. Bomber, race number 4, the Pure Steel. Which one do you like?
Yeah, it's a ripper race on paper. There looks to be plenty of pressure off the front with 3 or 4 looking to push forward and very strong types as well, so they should maintain the pressure, I think. And with that in mind, I thought Pete's Honour would be one that wouldn't get involved early like he has the last couple. And if he get the right tag into the race, he can be really dangerous. He's got a great turn of foot. He showed that when coming from well back 3 runs back, and then showed he's also got a bit of bottom to him when he did all the work 2 runs ago and stuck on and won that race comfortably. Then he went into a hot race down at Bunbury, and this is probably not quite as tough as that. And I thought if he had the right bit of luck late, he could be charging home.
The owner of Kushla McCree, Hayden King, won't be too happy to hear about that, Bomber. But how many units are we going to have on that one?
I heard Hayden yesterday on the radio telling us that Junior actually rang and begged for the drive, was his words. So
I heard that too, yeah.
Just the 1 unit, Ollie. It's a hot race. There's plenty of chances, but I just thought he was the right price.
All right, there we go. That's a race number 4, the Pure Steel. Now it's time to take a break. And as we go to the break, Excite Me has come to WA. 2 out of 2. It's well bred. It's half to Huey Green.
Well, I think she was a bit of an enigmatic horse over East. She did a few things wrong. She didn't put in her best efforts a few times, but at her best, she's really, really talented. And I think now it looks like they've got her to sell a little bit better than she was over East. So if they can get her to put her best foot forward like they did with a similar horse in Blaze Coops, they'll have a lot of success with her, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. It's 2 from 2 now after coming over, and Excite Me. It was a good winner last week. As we go to the break, let's listen to Excite Me, making it 2 on end since she's arrived in WA.
Catastrophe, sticking on Porion Sir. The runs are coming now. Down the outside, Apologise. Curious Boys trying to join in, and Swaggerman's right down the outside, but it's still Excite Me clear over the final stages from Porion Sir and also Minor Catastrophe, and Excite Me wins it well from Minor Catastrophe.
New Mazda.
Yep, I love it. We got it from Bayswater Mazda.
I keep hearing great things about them.
They're fantastic to deal with. Great people, great coffee too.
At Bayswater Mazda, you'll always be well looked after. Visit the team today and find the best drive-away deals on new Mazdas and pre-owned vehicles. Driving is better with Bayswater Mazda.
So's the coffee.
Go and see Bayswater Mazda at the corner of Guildford and Garrett Road, Bayswater, DL 25174.
You are listening to Talking Trots with Mortz and Michael Radley.
27-8 the third quarter though, and racing clear Heavenly Gypsy, Chili Punter, all as well as down the outside. Heavenly Wages coming through in the centre as well, but it's an easy win too. Heavenly Gypsy coming right away from Chili Punter, and Heavenly Gypsy wins it by 7 metres.
Yeah, that was Heavenly Gypsy last week at Gloucester Park. Goes around in race 3 this week, and Oli, as I said, I can't believe you're not in it.
No, I know. I've made a terrible error here, and no, I do hope for everyone involved, she goes on to earn, $100,000 and has a really good career. But, I think, as I said before, at the 500 metre mark, Emily was swinging off her, and, I knew I'd made a pretty big mistake.
1 start, 1 win. It's $1.38 tomorrow night. Maddie Leppard's in.
That'll be back-to-back Metro wins, and you nearly got most of the money back because she wasn't, she wasn't a really, really expensive purchase. I think it was a really good find because she had quite good Eastern States form. So, done really well to find her, and looks like she'll have a really good career in WA.
Now, speaking of the very powerful Michael Young, his smart 2-year-old Butter Me Up is in Pinjarra on Tuesday. The fields have just come on Monday. The fields have just come out. Drawn 2.
Yeah, and they trialled recently and
did,
were both quite nice. Yeah, behind a smart one that Aiden's turned out. He's always finding these really smart 2-year-olds.
Amalfi Knight's in the race, yes.
Yeah.
But Butter Me Up, you think on the Sales Classic that it would be a short price favourite? Or would you think Amalfi Knight starts favourite?
I think Amalfi Knight's
really?
Probably going to be pretty hard to beat there off the trial. So, but it'd be a really good race, and you'd imagine that both those Michael Young runners
I would have thought you stuck with the strength with you, but no. Michael, he's jumped off.
Drawn gate 1 there, you'd think it'd be pretty hard to beat. He gets him off the gate well, Aiden Campo, so, it'll give him something to catch, I'd say, if it's got enough gate speed.
Amalfi Knight, but it did look very good through the sales, and I know Michael's got an opinion of it, but Amalfi Knight's good. It's a good 2-year-old race. It's a maiden.
Yeah, well,
it's a good maiden.
You won't see many better maiden fields than that. It's funny, you got a nice enough horse and you bump into those two, you're pretty stiff, I reckon.
Yeah, indeed. All right. Now this segment's brought to you by Loans 123, car loans, debt consolidations, all your personal finance. The man to see is Stevie Sell at loans123.com.au or 1-800-100-100. Still doing the things the banks can't. Great supporter of this show, Stevie Sell. He's Brad Hardy on the breakfast show. Sponsors Brad, and honestly, Oli, you don't need loans because you're such a good punter. But if you needed someone, Stevie Sell's the man to see.
If we have a bad Friday and Saturday,
yes.
We might have to go and see him on Monday.
Yes,
so.
You need to move everything back over from New South Wales. they're going to give you the loan to ship all your home and contents back.
Yeah, wouldn't go anywhere else. So.
Exactly. All right. Now, where are we going to go to next? What race we got to? Race number 5. Race number 5 is the next we got to preview with our man Scott Bomber Hill. Christmas in July. Book now. You've been to the Bar Rivage.
Oh, it's fantastic in there. The buffet spread is unreal. So,
book now for Christmas in July. The last 3 Friday nights in July. Go to gloucesterpark.com.au. Go and go through the booking portal. You'll be able to see or whatever you need, it's a great place to book in. Book in, get a drinks package, food, the buffet.
You won't be disappointed.
You and Hayden love it.
It's a fantastic spread there. You know, you got your main meals and the desserts go pretty well too.
Yeah, we might even entice Bomber to come back at some stage in July. Anyway, let's have a look at the next race. It's race number 5, the Christmas in July book now. 25.36 metres. This is a really good race. Preferential barrier draw to mares as Artie by the Seaside. 145 with Denny Roberts aboard for Team Bond. Penny Black, 2 of the best mares in the state.
Yeah.
Going against this free-for-all field, 320. Cordero, 101. Al Capone, 51. I'm a Fast Star General, 61. Jaws and Lincoln, $26. Armour X Factor, 23. Lusaka, 17. Hoppy's Way, outside the front at 41. And then we've got Talks Up a Storm at 21. All is well, $31 into 18. Bomber, this free-for-all, pretty interesting event. Artie by the Seaside holds the call at 145.
Yeah, we're going to have a play spread here, Rads. I thought Artie by the Seaside would lead, and Penny Black's obviously going to be there looking to apply the pressure throughout, and it's going to be on here a fair way out. So I thought All Is Well was the one. He could land 3 pegs, come off a really good return last week when he probably should have finished a little bit closer. And Stewie Mack driving in really good form. He's going to be in a great spot here with these two going at it out in front, and I think he can fill the minor end of the money.
You'd think over the 2,500 metre journey, the gaps should be opening up at the finish, and hopefully they are for All Is Well to get out and get into the money. How many units are we going to have on him, Bomber?
Yeah, I think that's exactly the case, Ollie. So, 2-unit place bet. I'll be very surprised if he doesn't get his opportunity.
Yeah, always been a nice horse, All As Well, since he came through. Actually racing the Sales Classic, I think, against Valedictorian a few years ago. Yep, he's a 5-year-old now. So
he's had some battles with Never Ending as well, who I think he's been narrowly defeated by a couple of times. So
yeah, he's a really nice horse. So comes into this free-for-all, 3 pegs. That could be, as Bomber says, the way to go with the pegs. And as we look at the market, $265 a place. So not a bad bet, the place. That's how I go. $265 for Bomber. All right, and the final race we're going to look at is race number 8. And let's have a look at the Tab Touch market. And great to see the Tab Touch continue their markets up on a Thursday for all 10 races. We've got Ginnivan at $21, The Whizzer at $26, Flying Felix at $4, Driveline at $3.70, Rock and Roll Train $34, Your Grace $13, No Nunny at $2.60 in favourite, in from $3.60, so a good move there for the favourite. Chief Copy at $17, Do You See Me at $8.50. Then we've got Mama's Little Star $81, Local Resident $51, and Frankenstein Bride at $51. Bomber, race number 8. Which way are we going?
Yeah, I think No Nonny, he resumes here off a somewhat luckless campaign last time where he had 6 starts, 4 seconds and 2/3. But one thing he did throughout that campaign, I thought, was improve his gate speed, and he probably needs to use it here to push forward. And he ran into some really handy ones last time. He chased over Hugo Tasting a couple of times, Raja Rocks, who was flying at the time, and also Little Mustang when he was in red hot form. So he comes here without a trial, which is not his usual return, but I'm taking that as a positive that he's right up to the mark and backing his class to get it done.
Gee, he does look well placed in that race, and if he is 100% fit, they'll have a really hard time holding him out late because he did take on some better horses, as you mentioned. How many units are we going to have on him?
Yeah, another 2-unit bet. I agree. I think he is the class, and it'll only be a fitness issue if he's to get beat, I think.
All right, being well supported on Tab Touch. And is now the favourite at $265 in from $360. All right, Bomber, have you got a multi for us?
Yeah, I do have a 3-legger, a couple of which you've already spoke about tonight. I was really impressed with Heavenly Gypsy last week. She should lead and win again, I think. Was very impressive there last week to the eye. And into race 5, number 1, Artie by the Seaside, that just gets the right draw, and I think that just makes her impossible to beat. Then race 7, number 9, Ruby Lou for the place. So I think she's a winning chance in this race. She's hasn't had much luck of late, and this is a much better grade for her. I think she'll definitely run a place. So front doing is their third leg.
All right, it's around about 280 that all up there for Bombers. The couple of shorties for the win, and then a place on Ruby Lou for Mike Reid. All right, Bomber. Mate, thanks for your time. Really appreciate it. We'll speak to you next week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night.
There we go. Scott Bomber Hill.
No, hopefully we have a good night there, and Bomber has a fill-up after getting a bit of a cider of the track in person last week.
And a couple of moves for the horses that he's backed as well.
Yeah, but Bomber might have opened the
moved
wallet.
him.
Yeah.
might have moved him himself. All right. Now, as we go to the break, Blame It on the Night was a good winner last start.
Yeah, very, very impressive. Dominated after leading them up, and never really looked in doubt. And the run prior by him was really impressive, and he looked like a coming winner, and he was. Yeah.
Was it Gary Hall's only winner for the night?
Oh, it might have been.
I think it might have been.
Very rare. He only drives one winner.
Indeed. Stewie McDonald goes on this week. But as we go to the break, here is Blame It on the Night, who goes around in race number 4. He's currently $4.60 behind the $4 favourite Cam's Boulder in our selection in Pete's Honour for Bomber Hill. But it's a really good race. It's $4 the field. So as we go to the break, here is Blame It on the Night, who's a major player in race number 4 tomorrow night.
In the centre and still got first 4 claims, and then tucks and tails in the straight though. Blame It on the Night is nicely clear from Cam's Boulder, battling on the inside, back on line. Brule the outside, can't get to back on line, and it's Blame It on the Night from Cam's Boulder, back on line, and Brule.
Hi, I'm Steve Sell from Loans 123. We are car finance specialists. We can help you find the loan you're looking for, your new car, and help find a home for your old one. If you want a new or used car but feel uncomfortable visiting car yards on your own, we can help and often save you money. For a stress-free way of buying and financing your next car, who do you see? Steve Sell at loans123.com.au or call 1800 100 100.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Top of the lane, Whisperer Secret the inside, still in front but Leap to Fame. He just keeps coming on the outside. He's relentless, and soon after he takes the lead. Leap to Fame taking over from Whisperer Secret. Jim RT wider. He's back, Leap to Fame. He's back, Leap to Fame beating Whisperer Secret.
He was back, Leap to Fame, and he had to do it the tough way at different stages. Ollie, I thought Whisperer Secret.
Yeah,
might have him at different stages, but he's just too good.
He was, but it was a really, really good drive by Grant Dixon. He knew that he wasn't. He was first up, and he wasn't 100% screwed down. So he really did from the breeze. He made it a dash home, and that does suit Whisperer Secret, who's a very fast horse and has been really taking big steps towards being a nice open class horse in his last few starts. Leap to Fame just proved too good in the end, and yeah, as usual, it was a very well rated drive from the breeze from Grant.
Goes around in a stand start tomorrow night, only off 30.
He might be the greatest certainty in history of 30 metres. Yeah,
$1.10.
I think even the $1.15 say it'd be pretty good value about him on Saturday night. The horse off the front and the horse off 10 metres. One of them is actually a Metro maiden in excess. He hasn't won a Metro, so. Yeah, the 30 metres is
he's
quite
only
generous.
given me 30.
Yeah, and he's on the
Should
same.
Be 130.
He's on the same mark as Always Smokers, who I think he'd be like 50th or 60th in the Inter-Dominion rankings versus a horse that's won, numerous Grand Circuit races. So
anyway,
he's pretty well suited.
It's a nice little hit out for Leap to Fame. And what about in the Q Breed Classic final? We mentioned it last week. Fight for victory. We actually said whoever beats this horse will win. This honest heat run was
incredible.
$6.
Oh, he drifted and he drifted and he drifted.
How did it start $6?
I had something on at 4 and then
I know the stablemate started $1.50, but still.
Yeah. The stablemate just nowhere near as good. And I think the fact that Grant chose to drive the stablemate, and Trista Dixon was on Fight for Victory, was why the market went the way it did. But they mentioned in the media that that was the case because Trista had driven the horse at home. So, in the end, he was a dominant winner.
Dominant. It was very good. Remember the name Fight for Victory?
And he was still green as, and he put...
Just chimed in.
Yeah.
Put up 3 lengths in the wet. He goes to the Protostar, I would imagine.
Yeah, and I think he'll be favourite.
Whoever beats him in the Protostar will win the Protostar.
Yeah, really impressive.
We said it about the Breeders' Classic final. If you missed it, you should have taken the $6.
Yeah.
Whatever they put up in the Protostar final, have something on.
Yeah, he's a real star, that horse. And, he looks so green. I think there's so much more to come there. When Trista pulled him out, he didn't immediately go, but when she sort of asked him for an effort, he was just off and gone in a flash.
He's beautifully bred. He's by Better's Delight out of Fame Assured.
I think she was a 200 grand earner, Fame Assured, and she won a lot of races at Albion Park.
Yeah, it's 300,000.
Yeah, 300. I've sold her short.
Yeah, and her family is very good. Her family is very good.
I think it was
it's the Seymour family, the Seymour families that he's bred.
I think it went around on debut and it didn't really do a whole lot. And then the next start, it came out and was about $13 or something, and he absolutely bolted up. So
her granddam is the girl from Ipanema. Now you wouldn't remember the girl from Ipanema. She was very good. I remember her as a 2-year-old. She was a standout 2-year-old. She only had the 21 starts. She won 7, but as a 2-year-old, she was very good.
Just had panels on them.
Yeah, and typical Seymour horse. It's a Seymour family and Fight for Victory, yeah.
They're very lucky to have him in Queensland. He breeds some really nice horses there and invests in the sports. So,
yeah, follow it.
Yeah, definitely. I think follow all of those horses in that sort of 2-year-old bunch, because I think there are some really nice ones there that were probably beaten pretty big margins, like that Just Incredible, which we talked to Michael Brennan about. It looked really good in the heat run and then was blown away in the final, but I still think it's a pretty nice horse.
Yeah, no, it's a good crop, I think. All right, we're going to talk about your tips in a moment for Albion Park, as well as the country racing. We've got Bunbury and also Central Wheatbelt. But this segment is brought to you by Bayswater Mazda. Driving is better in a Bayswater Mazda, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. They've got new cars, they've got used cars, they've got great service, after-sale service, pre-sale service, during-sale service. They'll look after you at Bayswater Mazda, as I said, corner of Guildford and Garrett Road. All right, we've got Bunbury Saturday night, and we have 6 races. The first at 5:51, and then we head to Central Wheatbelt on the Sunday. The first at 12:44, and there is 8 races on the card at Central Wheatbelt, and we'll also get some tips from you from Albion Park on Saturday night, and another big 10-race card there. The first at 2:52 our time, so a really early start at Albion Park on Saturday night, but another good night's racing where we get to see the great leap to fame, Australasia's best pacer go around the start, only off 30 against an average field.
Yeah, it's probably not the best field he's ever come up against. It's not really even a...
Well, he's not racing Speak the Truth and Jim RT and...
I think
the free-for-allers.
It's not really even a strong free-for-all, let alone
He should be off 130.
Yeah, I think he'd still
and
win.
he'd still be odds on. Anyway,
yeah.
We'll get your tips at Albion Park. But we've got Bunbury, 6 races, 5:51. What do you got for Bunbury for us?
Yeah, it looks a really good little 6-race card there at Bunbury. I thought there was a few nice horses going around, and we'll kick things off in race 3. I think one of those nice horses is Good Time Louis. He went around last start and he was favourite, and he got the front and he looked home, but then he just got tired late, and I think that was just being first up from a spell there. He should be much better for that run. This race looks a lot easier. I think he'll find the front. I think he'll lead and he'll win pretty comfortably there. So that'll be the first leg of the multi for us, and then we'll move to race 6. This horse is been going pretty well recently, Barbados. I think he does quite like the stand starts, and he finds a really suitable race here where there's probably not a lot of chances. So I think with Gary Hall Jr. on board there, Barbados can be hopefully well away from the stand. If he's able to get somewhere up on speed near them, he can finish over the top late. He was beaten by Diamond World, who was a good winner there 2 starts ago from the stand start, but now the handicaps, they favour Barbados a bit more this time. So hopefully having that 10 metres closer to that horse will be able to see him turn the tables there for us in race 6.
All right, that's Bunbury Saturday night. Sunday, we go to Central Wheatbelt. What you got for us?
At Kellerberrin, we got race 2. I thought Don Diablo found a really suitable race here. He's probably been a little bit costly at times for the punters to follow. He was beaten last start at $3.70 in April, and he's first up from a spell here. And Callan Savalco, he takes the drive, and I think he can lead and be really hard to run down in that race. It looks like a quite moderate field. It's a 2 wins restricted race, and I think, he'll be really hard to catch there. So I'm happy to kick things off that way with race 2, number 3, Don Diablo. He's got good enough skate speed to lead, and I think, it'll be pretty hard to beat there. And then we go looking later on the card for our next bet in race 7, and it's a Michael Young horse at Kellerberrin.
That's his track.
Yeah, he loves it there. Alexander,
that's his
track. Man. Yes, he's been winning a lot of races there. So
he's the king of Kellerberrin.
He is now. He's really going quite well at the moment. And this time, Jacko was so impressive over the lightning lap last start. He was forced to do plenty of work in the early stages, and he found the front eventually, and he just raced right away. And that followed up a really impressive trial where he went 158, which should sort of see these off pretty comfortably, I think. So if he's able to find the front lead, he will be winning. So happy to put him in any multi you have on Sunday.
All right, and then we go to Albion Park Saturday night. 10 races, some nice horses going around. What do you got? Captain Hammerhead, who's gone up for the carnival now with Grant Dixon. It's scratching.
Yeah, I see that. It was pretty
good trial.
He was probably not quite at his absolute best last start from the stand start. He went around as favourite there, and he could only manage 4th. But hopefully there's nothing too serious there.
He'll be getting ready for the carnival, I'd imagine, in a Dominion with Grant Dixon. So, but what do you got for us at Albion Park?
Yeah, we'll kick things off in race 2, and I'm hoping that Rocks or Diamonds can take the sit on Sure Thing Captain here and run a place for us. I think this is just his dream setup, Rocks or Diamonds. He loves to follow a good tempo, and he's been racing really well at the moment without a lot of luck in his races. He led 3 starts ago, and he was just narrowly beaten there. The horse on his back ran him down, but that's not really his ideal go leading, and they was a bit of a dash home, and he's a much better horse when he's able to follow. So he gets that opportunity here. He chased home Ragazzo D'Artilli last start in really fast time, and he was forced to come wide off the track. So I think this time he's straight on the back of Sure Thing Captain, who's likely to be the odds-on favourite, and from there he should get every possible chance. And it really does look a race where those pegs runners will be the ones filling the minor money there, with Master Charles as well drawn to get the run through back the pegs. Probably another one for the exotics.
All right, and any other tips?
Yeah, well, I'm actually going to go in Leap to Fame's race, but I'm not going to tip Leap to Fame like I did a while ago. And
really?
Yeah, well, I'd say he probably is decent value at
$1.10.
Yeah, I probably one to put in multis and that sort of stuff, or go one out in your exotics. But the one here I'm really keen to be with is a Rotor. I think he's just a brilliant stand start horse, and I'm really confident that he can run a placing here. He just flies away, and he did that a couple of starts ago. He copped a lot of pressure in the middle of the race there, turned it up, came around and had a look for the front, and he repelled that challenge and was still able to stick on and run a place there. And they ran pretty fast time, 156.7 from the stand start for the 2100. That's pretty good going, really. And then last start he was good again. They ran 153 and he was off the pegs, and I think he can fly away from the stand. He can get to the front, and he can wait for his stablemate Leap to Fame and he can take a sit on him and hopefully run second or third.
Yeah, it does a really good job at Raider. And did he win a Redcliffe Cup or one of those?
Yeah, he did. He flew away from the stand there.
Yeah.
He led and they just couldn't catch him. And I can't remember who was in that race, but there were certainly some nice horses. So,
yeah, and same stable in the 3-year-old Fader Waits returns, the winner of the original Protostar.
That'll be really interesting.
The inaugural Protostar.
He's taking on It's Electrifying, who's a really nice horse as well. And he was a terrific effort last start. He raced on Tuesday and he took on Path to Greatness, who's another one of Grant Dixon's really nice horses. And he ran third there, but he came from pretty much last in the run and he just would have reeled off an incredible last half to get into third. So if he's able to hold the advantage on Fader Waits, he'll certainly give him something to catch.
Yeah, it's starting to get really exciting in Queensland at the moment, isn't it?
Yeah, it's building up to the carnival time, and now they've added the Inter-Dominion to that carnival. It's going to be really exciting, and they got the Golden Girl as well, and hopefully we can see Steno, who was racing in WA not long ago, go up there and be really competitive. She was terrific behind.
Really good.
I Kept Smiling, wasn't she?
Really good. It's certainly exciting times. Ollie, thanks for your time. Really appreciate you filling in again for Morts. I think he's back next week, but stand by.
Good to be on. Thanks, Rads. Really enjoyed it, and I'm looking forward to the racing in the next few days.
Yeah, good to chat to Mouse Brennan. Thanks to Bomber as always. Thanks to Amelia for pressing the buttons and keeping us on track. Thanks to you, Ollie. Thanks to everyone for listening. We'll be back next week. Hopefully you're back a winner. Until next week, it's bye for now.
Talking Trots with Morts and Michael Radley on Tab Radio, Racing and Sport.
Chances are you're about to lose. For free and confidential support, visit gamblinghelpline.org.au.